Okay, well, we are going to do a proof by induction in this video. Very simple. And then in the next video, we're going to prove the same thing using strong induction. So strong induction will be the easier case in this situation. Let's take a look at the problem. And actually, we have to fill in one of the blanks. All postage amounts of at least how many cents can be achieved using 3-cent and 5-cent stamps. So you assume that you have an unlimited supply of 3-cent and 5-cent stamps. What I want here is the best possible number, the lowest possible positive integer that I can put here. For example, if you put the number, this is silly, but if you put the number 2 there, you're wrong. You cannot even make 2 cents out of 3-cent and 5-cent stamps. If you put the number 4 there, you failed. We can't get 4-cent stamps. If you put the number 7, you can't make 7 cents worth of stamps using only 3s and 5s. So the first thing we want to do is just go through the list of numbers. I've already been through 7 fails. So we know 7, it's got to be bigger than 7. Can we get 8? Oh yeah, that'd just be 1 apiece. 1 3 and 1 5. Can we get 9? Yeah, 3 3-cent stamps would give us 9. Can we get 10? 10. Yeah, 2 5-cent stamps. Okay, do I need to proceed and say, okay, how can I get 11? How can I get 12? How can I get 13? We can really stop here, because why do I know without even thinking about it that I can get 11? Well, I know I can get 11 because I have 3-cent stamps to work with. And if I go back to 8, I know I can make 8. So just add a 3-cent stamp. I know I can make 9, add a 3-cent stamp. That gets you 12. 10, I know I can get 10, add a 3-cent stamp. It gets you 13. So once you get 3 in a row for this problem, once you get 3 in a row, you know you can stop, because you know you can get all the rest of them to infinity. All right, so just to reiterate, 7 failed. We could not get 7. So 8 is the very smallest number that I can put right here. And now we're going to prove that using induction. Okay, we're going to prove that I can make every amount from 8 cents to 9 cents, to any number to infinity if I want to, by induction. So what will my base case look like? I'm not sure how much room I'm going to use, so I'm going to stay right up here if I can. Base case. Or I think in the previous ones, all I've done is this. N equals 8. That is going to be our base case. All you have to say is that 3 plus 5 equals 8. And that's the base case. We proved we can get 8. Now we're going to do the inductive step. Suppose K is some number at least 8, and K cents can be, what should I say, formed or achieved. K cents can be formed with the postage given. I maybe should have just said with 3 cents and 5-cent stamps. All we have to do is prove that it'll work for K plus 1, and we're done. Very simple. Sounds like it anyways. So K cents can be formed. We will show that K plus 1 cents can be formed. Sorry, I'm writing sloppy here. So I'll read you the proof. The base case, n equals 8, done. Suppose for some number that's at least 8, a generic number k, and suppose that k cents can be formed with the postage given. That means 3-cent and 5-cent stamps. We will show that k plus 1 cents can be formed. All right, well, how do we do that? Well, what is a way that I could add, if I know I've got k cents in stamps, what's a way that I could get k plus 1? I don't have 1 cent stamps to work with. So there's only one option. I have to throw a few stamps away and bring some new stamps in. Okay, so I know, here's my box. K is greater than or equal to 8, and I know I have k cents in this box in postage. I don't have a 1 cent stamp to add to it. So I'm going to have to pull something out. Like if I pulled out a 3 and added a 5, that would be like adding 2 cents. That doesn't work. I need to do something else where I can add 1 cent. Well, what's 3 times 2? That'd be 6. So what does this do? Remove 5 cents, add 2 times 3 cents. That increases by 1, right? What if there is no 5 cent stamp in here? Let's deal with that. Let's keep that. That's going to be one of my 2 main cases. I'm going to need to address 2 cases. I'm going to say here, if there is a 5 cent stamp used in making the k cents postage. This is very wordy, but it's kind of necessary. You need to explain what you're doing. If there is a 5 cent stamp used in the making of that box of k cents, then we can remove it. Comma. Then remove it and add 2 3-cent stamps. To get k plus 1 cents in postage. And we are done with that case. Now we have to do the else part of this, the other part. Suppose there is no 5 cent stamp. So the next paragraph I would say otherwise, no 5 cent stamp was used. In forming k cents in postage. So this was like my case 1, this is like my case 2. What does that mean? You don't have to write this because it's obvious. So only 3 cent stamps were used. In forming k cents postage. Again, this is a little redundant, but just making it clear. Well, what does that tell us? if only 3-cent stamps were used. Thus, can you fill in this sentence? K must be greater than some number. It's bigger than 8. If you're only using 3-cent stamps and you know the box with K cents is made up, it has at least 8 cents in it, what does that tell you? The box actually has at least 9 cents in it. Because you weren't allowed to use, because the 5-cent stamps weren't used in this case to form the K cents in postage. Thus, K is greater than or equal to 9. I'll even put in here 3. That came from 3 times 3-cent stamps. It's impossible to get 8 cents without using a 5. So that's our key. So we have at least 9 cents. So how could I, with that knowledge, get 10 cents? I mean, it may not be exactly 9, but it does mean that there are at least 3 3-cent stamps used. So remove them and add a pair of 5s, and that adds 1 cent. Thus, K is bigger than 9. What we really care about is 3 3-cent stamps were used. Yeah, let me write that instead. And at least 3 used. Okay, remove 3 3-cent stamps and add 2 5-cent stamps, and we have formed K plus 1 cent postage. That's the end of the proof. So we just kind of mathematically in our heads determined that at least 8 cents could be made. We showed that 7 couldn't be made. And then we proved, using induction, that every value beyond 8 cents could be made. So the next video, we're going to do it in a slightly different way.